Have you ever looked at someone who seems to be at the top of their game, a brilliant musician, a star athlete, a genius entrepreneur, and thought to yourself, well, they were just born with it? It's a common idea, this notion of the natural. We see prodigies and assume they were delivered to the world fully formed, with talents we could never hope to match. But what if that entire idea is wrong? What if the secret to achieving great things has less to do with the genius you're born with and everything to do with the character you build? That's the provocative and ultimately empowering argument made by organizational psychologist Adam Grant in his book, Hidden Potential. He suggests we've been measuring success all wrong. We're obsessed with innate talent, with where people start. But Grant argues that the true measure of potential isn't the starting line, it's the distance traveled. And that journey is available to all of us. The book reveals that growth is not about the rare gift of genius. It's about the learnable skills of character and the supportive systems that allow us to develop them. So how do we start that journey? First, Grant points inward, to the qualities of character we can all cultivate. And one of the most important is learning to be a sponge. Think about that for a second. A sponge isn't impressive on its own. Its power is in what it absorbs. In a fascinating study of astronauts, NASA found that the most effective ones weren't necessarily the stereotypical, confident ace pilots who already had all the answers. The astronauts who performed the best in simulations and in space were the ones who were rated as highly supportive and concerned for others by their peers. They were sponges. They constantly asked for feedback, admitted what they didn't know, and soaked up wisdom from everyone around them. Their ego didn't get in the way of their growth. While the so-called stars were busy trying to prove themselves, the sponges were busy improving themselves. It's a powerful shift in mindset. See every interaction not as a test to be passed, but as an opportunity to learn. Of course, learning new things means you're going to make mistakes. A lot of them. And this is where the second crucial character skill comes in, embracing imperfection. Many of us are paralyzed by perfectionism. We're so afraid of producing something flawed that we don't produce anything at all. We wait for the perfect idea, the perfect moment, the perfect draft. Adam Grant shows us that this is the enemy of progress. He shares the example of top-tier comedians. You might think someone like Chris Rock just walks on stage and brilliant jokes pour out of him. The reality couldn't be more different. For a big special, a comedian might write 1,000 pages of material. They'll go to tiny clubs, night after night, and test out joke after joke. Most of them will bomb. They'll be met with awkward silence. But they're not failing, they're gathering data. They learn what rhythm works, which word is funnier, where the punchline needs to land. They are relentlessly, purposefully imperfect. They produce a huge volume of work, knowing most of it will be terrible, in order to discover the slivers of genius. The lesson for us is profound. Give yourself permission to be a beginner. Be willing to be bad at something on the road to being good at it. Progress doesn't happen in one perfect leap. It happens in 1,000 messy steps. So we have being a sponge and embracing imperfection. But Grant's framework isn't just about passive learning or trial and error. It's also about being proactive, about not waiting for the world to give you an opportunity. He distinguishes between being a drifter and being a driver of your own development. A great story of this is the founding of the eyewear company Warby Parker. The founders had this idea for selling affordable, stylish glasses online. When they pitched it to people, they were told it was a terrible idea. No one will buy glasses without trying them on first, everyone said. A drifter would have given up, but the founders were drivers. They didn't have the money to build a huge company, but they could build a basic website. They didn't wait for permission or for a perfect plan. They took a small, proactive step to test their riskiest assumption. They put up a site to see if people would, in fact, be interested in the concept. The response was overwhelming. They didn't wait for the path to be cleared for them. They started paving it themselves. These character skills are the engine for growth. But an engine is useless without a car and a road. This is the second half of Grant's argument, and it might be the most important. It's the idea of building structures for growth, which he calls scaffolding. Think about a building under construction. You see all that metal scaffolding around it? It's not part of the final building, but the building couldn't be built without it. It's the temporary support that allows workers to reach new heights. We all need scaffolding in our lives to unlock our hidden potential. This can look like many things. Grant points to the education system in Finland, which consistently ranks among the best in the world. What do? They reject the idea of sorting kids into gifted and struggling tracks early on. Instead, they provide intensive scaffolding for any student who starts to fall behind. They get extra tutoring, more support, and more attention to help them catch up. The result? The students who needed help improve dramatically. But something else happens too. The so-called advanced students also benefit because they deepen their own understanding by helping and teaching their peers. By building a system of support instead of a system of sorting, Finland elevates everyone. It's a structure designed for growth, not just for showcasing existing talent. This scaffolding isn't just for schools. We can build it in our workplaces, our teams, and our families. It can be as simple as a weekly check-in with a colleague to share challenges, or a mentorship program that pairs experienced people with newcomers. It's about designing an environment that doesn't just demand excellence, but actively cultivates it. One of the most powerful examples of this is a chess coach named Laszlo Polgar. He believed that any healthy child could be raised to be a prodigy. He rejected the notion of innate talent. His scaffolding was an intense, immersive home environment focused on chess. He and his wife homeschooled their 3 daughters, and chess was a central part of their education. The result? All 3 of their daughters became chess masters. One, Judith Polgar, became the greatest female chess player of all time. Was it magic? No. It was a deliberately constructed system of support, practice, and belief that allowed their potential to flourish. The scaffolding created the prodigy. So, what does this all mean for us in our own lives? It means we can let go of the limiting belief that we either have it or we don't. Potential is not a lottery ticket. It is a capacity we can all build. The message of hidden potential is one of profound optimism. It tells us that what matters is our character, our willingness to be a sponge, to be imperfect, to be a driver. And it reminds us that we don't have to do it alone. We have the power to build scaffolding for ourselves and, just as importantly, for the people around us. So here's a final thought to take with you. The next time you're facing a new challenge or learning a new skill, and that little voice in your head asks, "Do I have the talent for this?" Try asking a different set of questions instead. First, ask, how can I be a sponge right now? Who can I learn from? Second, ask, am I willing to be imperfect to get started? What's a small, messy first step I can take? And finally, ask, what is one piece of scaffolding I can build for myself or offer to someone else to make this journey a little easier? Because greatness is not about what we are. It's about what we are willing to become.